Hey, so first off, I want to congratulate you, Rob. That's great. Congratulations on the Sync in SEAL team. I saw you posted that in the private Facebook group, so I assume it's public knowledge. And that's great. 2 minutes of your song in the background. It was awesome. You were able to do it through one of our music supervisors. And encouragement for everybody else out there. Just got an email yesterday from Rob. So on to mixing. All right, so here is my second biggest mix trick. Now, you know when you take a photo with your iPhone or your whatever smartphone you've got, and the photo might look a little bland or something, and you can go through those filters and sort of click on try different filters or boost the saturation or boost the contrast to get make the photo really pop. That is a very similar trick to what I use in mixing. So mixing, again, is not just about balancing everything and making everything sort of sound pretty, right? You want the mix to evoke. You want it to really bring the song to life. Now, sometimes what can happen is you've got tracks that might be a little bit bland. They were recorded just a little generically, or typically. That's a better way to put it. Just typical recording. And something I do in mixing sometimes is when I get a mix up and I'm starting to play with it, if I feel like it needs more contrast, more saturation, I'll affect the individual components a little bit to give them more character. Like I'll add some, parallel compression to the drums and then maybe run the snare through a bit of distortion or put an interesting space on the kit. The bass I might run through a different amp emulator. You can pull a plug-in up on your DAW and you can just run the bass through it. Guitars the same thing, and how I EQ them or compress them or where I pan them or where I put them in the mix. The goal is to increase the contrast and the difference between all of the different components in the mix. And this adds an enormous amount of punch. It gives the mix a real character. And that is one great trick to do in the mixing stage when you can vastly increase the emotion of the mix without having to, re-record or do anything crazy or super fancy. You're just taking each component and adding some character that fits. It's got to fit with everything else, but you're just giving it more life, make them each individual thing more interesting. And then all those colors of the rainbow, you're making the bluer and the redder. All of those colors come together and make a really vibrant mix. So that's my second mix trick. I hope you like that. Love to hear, if you have tried something like that, if you think that this is a good thing that might work for you, please leave a comment below. I got a ton of comments on the last video about my #1 mix trick. So really curious to hear what you guys do along those lines. All right, have a great week and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.